And second off, the bullets do come out of your face and not the gun, because as you can see, I'm actually shooting back here, even though my barrel is actually on the other end. So if I don't aim down sights, it's shooting there. The second I aim down sights, the bullets actually come from your forehead, which is not very realistic because you can head glitch like this and still shoot over. So hello gamers and welcome back to another BattleBit Remastered video. So today we're going to be looking at a very interesting category of only 3 guns. But despite only being 3, these are some of the most varied guns in the game, of basically an SMG, a carbine, and another suppressed carbine. But for some reason they're going in personal defense in this game. But we'll get into everything about these guns, starting off with the Honey Badger. And the Honey Badger is a very well-known gun in basically every game, but in this game, is it good? Well, we'll get into it. So first off, here is the default recoil, and that's with pretty good control, because I'll just show you guys what the problem with this gun really is. The recoil is not good at all. If you're running this thing outside of like close range, it is really a struggle to hit your shots. Now, in close range, is it good? Actually, yeah, because it does 32, which if you guys haven't seen my assault rifle ranking, I recommend you go check that out right now, because that is going to explain why 32 damage is so important on a gun. But yeah, this is going to be that 4-hit kill that you're going to want, because of course, everything over 31.33 bar is going to be a 4-hit on most enemies. So this is going to be kind of effective for close range. However, the biggest problems with this gun is, first off, it has quite a bit of vertical recoil, a ton of horizontal recoil, and really low velocity, not great accuracy at all, but it does have good damage and good fire rate. The main reason that this gun is really just not that good is that the reload time is 4.13 seconds, and it does have some magazines, and we'll get into those, but it has a lot of recoil, and it does not attach barrels, so you can't get anything that's really going to improve your recoil by that much. A flash hider would have been so good on this gun, but as you can see, with a decent setup of a URK grip, you are getting a little bit better recoil for sure. So this gun is going to be alright. However, of course, it has really awful velocity. As you can see, it has just a little bit more than like a Chris Vector does, or any of those SMGs. That's because this is a 300 blackout integrally suppressed gun, which does mean, yes, it's going to be not great over range, and it does start dropping at about 50 meters. So it has SMG style drops all the way down to 8 damage over range, but we'll put on a gunfighter for better horizontal recoil. For our magazines here, so first off, we have a better reload time magazine down to 3.41, which is pretty decent, but still not great at all, especially considering that's about the best you can get. You can get it down to a 3-second with the URK grip, but then your recoil will be worse, and also the quick mag is going to make your recoil worse as well, and it's going to only give you 20 rounds instead of 24. So this is the real reason that this gun isn't that great. The reload time is not too great, and you only get 20 rounds. So is it a good gun? Honestly, it's not too bad. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. A few things that are really nice is it's integrally suppressed, which is nice. The fire rate is pretty high. The damage is pretty solid without a long barrel, which is cool because you can't run one. But other than that, the magazine capacity, especially with the quick mag, the reload time not being that great. Overall, I would give this gun a 3 out of 5. So it's honestly pretty solid, but it's not the best gun in the game by any means. Next up though, we have the OTS-14, or the Groza. This is one of my favorite guns in general in any game. I think it looks awesome. It's a bullpup AKS-74U. And first off, looking at the iron sights, these are open and kind of decent, but not the best. But they're going to be definitely good enough to get 5 kills. It's not going to be like the PP2000 or the FAMAS or any of those guns that I just hate. And second off, it hits for 34 and 51. So yes, without armor, it's going to be a 3-hit and a 2-hit head. The only downside really is that most people have at least 125 health, so it is going to be a 4-hit and a 3-shot headshot, which is not too bad, but it kind of removes a lot of the extra reasons to use this gun. But let's look at the recoil. Well, it's really good. The recoil actually is way better than you'd probably expect, because this gun is pretty powerful, you know? 34, of course, like I said, is not going to be that helpful, and it starts to drop at 50 meters like an SMG does, but it has a little bit of extra damage, and the recoil is not bad at all. The main thing here is that the velocity is really bad. It's worse than a Vector. It's almost the worst in the game. Of course, pistols and a couple of SMGs are worse, but a lot of SMGs have better velocity than this does. The only weird thing, though, is that I think it's supposed to be the Groza 4, which is integrally suppressed, but this gun just doesn't sound that suppressed. I don't know, the guns in this game don't really have a ton of punch to them to begin with. That's one of the things I don't really like as much about this game, is that some of the gun sounds, in my opinion, don't sound that great and that cool. And this does not sound that suppressed, you know? It sounds really beefy for a suppressed gun, but it really, in this game, doesn't sound like a suppressed gun at all. So people might still hear you, but of course the gun is really accurate. And let's look at some of the attachments. So first off, it does not have a magazine, it has a 30 round mag. It does have a 4.3 second reload, which is terrible. And then let's get on to some of the bigger problems with this gun. So first off, the sights are really high off of the gun, which is kind of annoying, but once you start to aim, it's not that bad. And second off, the bullets do come out of your face and not the gun, because as you can see, I'm actually shooting back here, even though my barrel is actually on the other end. So if I don't aim down sights, it's shooting there. The second I aim down sights, the bullets actually come from your forehead, which is not very realistic because you can head glitch like this and still shoot over. So that would be a pretty big downside to this gun that actually isn't there, which is pretty nice. So the recoil is really low, not gonna lie. Horizontal is great, vertical is pretty low too, and it doesn't have a magazine attachment, which is annoying, or a grip, which you could put a grip on the side of the gun. Like I've seen that in other games, but in this game you can't put a canted sideways grip, which would be cool, but honestly it looks terrible in most games anyway, so I don't actually run it. The main barrel I'd probably run here is of course tactical barrel. Flash hider is not really necessary. The OGN is pretty good, I guess, but I do prefer tactical barrel because overall this is going to provide a decent amount less vertical recoil, which as you can see, so the velocity here was making it very difficult to hit my shots. But once I do, this gun beams, it has 30 rounds, it does crazy damage. So overall, even though I wouldn't say this is the best gun in the entire game, I give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's very, very competitive and it's got its purposes. So against dummies, which only have 100 health, it kills really fast because it does have 650 RPM, which is as much as the FAL, and a little bit less than like an M4 or an AK-74, and only 10 less than the HK-419, which is one of the best guns in the game. However, it's doing significantly more damage, but effectively, it's going to be the same hits to kill as HK-419 with like a long barrel, or an AK-74 with a long barrel, or any of those guns. So it's not going to be as great, but it really holds up. So honestly, this gun is not the super meta gun of the game, but it's pretty cool, not gonna lie. But moving on to the last gun, we have the P90. Now the P90 hits for 28. You guys are gonna see, it's kind of hard to tell, but this is really high rate of fire. This is a fire rate of 800, which is the same as the Honey Badger. And of course, it's doing less damage and it's gonna take an extra hit to kill, but this is doing MP5 damage with the same fire rate, but of course it's the P90, so you're gonna get a 50 round mag, and it has a quick mag for more horizontal recoil by quite a bit, but a much faster reload time, down to a 3-second reload time, which is really nice, not gonna lie. Like that reload time for 50 rounds, not too bad. It doesn't take a grip attachment, which is annoying, but you can run a barrel attachment and a side rail, and if you put all this stuff together, it is pretty good because not too bad recoil, a pretty fast reload, not the best reload in the game or anything, but honestly not bad at all. And really high damage. I would give the P90 probably, honestly, a 5 out of 5. I think this gun is really good. Velocity is super low for no reason. I think the velocity should be higher. If this game was supposed to be more realistic, I guess, the velocity would be super high because this is a bullpup, as well as being a 5.7 by 28, which is a really, really accurate round with a really good velocity for such a small round because it's so freaking long for how wide the round is. So overall, I would say that's kind of a gripe I have with the game's like realism, but yeah, this gun is a 5 out of 5 because it's got so many rounds, 50 round magazine, and a pretty fast reload time as well. As you can see, the main downside is the fast mag definitely has quite a bit of a downside to it, but I do recommend it overall still. It also cannot attach grips, but it can have barrel attachments, which is pretty cool. So overall, Honey Badger probably the worst of the three. The Groza is really good, a close second to the P90, but I think the P90 has more effectiveness as a CQC juggernaut, you know? Basically like an extended mag to the MP5. Like it's pretty similar to that. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new, but I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.